What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Alex. Shout out to the Elite Fleet. Make sure you like and subscribe so you can become a member of the Elite Fleet. And I want to do this reaction because this lesbian feminist went viral talking about how marriage and relationships basically serve no purpose to women and they're happier without men around. Now, right off the bat, if you have any semblance of common sense, the first thing you'd say is, why the heck does a lesbian feminist even give a damn about the dynamics of a heterosexual relationship? Why does she care about how men and women are interacting with each other, and why is she running interference on it happening? And I keep telling you guys, and I will continue to tell you guys, if you think you're out of the matrix, if you think you're not a part of the New World Order, but you participate in this fake ass gender war, you are a part of the New World Order. I just want you to know that. It's clear that they're putting out all these little divisive groups on the men's side and the women's side to pull men and women away from each other. If you were truly out of the matrix, if you truly thought for yourself, it would be very easy to see that this is a joke. This is why I tell you guys all the time, there's no gender war. It's fake. The only people who get caught up in it are the people who are really NPCs. They're really bots. They really don't think for themselves. They're really Agent Smith in the Matrix, but they think that they're super smart. And I want to do this reaction because, one, I want to show you guys why it's so important to think for yourself, because a lot of these talking points people use on TikTok and YouTube sound smart to people who are dumb, sound smart to people who don't think. It literally takes 2 seconds of research and another 2 seconds to just use your common sense to realize 99.9% of the talking points are BS. Okay. And I also want to do this reaction just because, again, it's going viral and it's full of a bunch of misinformation. If you're going to listen, if you're going to walk away from men, or even if you're going to walk away from women, if that's what you decide to do, do it. I'm not here to control what you're doing, but do it because it's what you want to do. Don't do it because of fake talking points. All right. I want to also show you guys faulty logic, and I'm going to explain what that means in this video. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and rip apart all her points because she doesn't make any sense in 99.9% of the stuff that she's talking about. Let's not waste too much time. Let's get straight into this.
To be real honest with you, men benefit greater from marriage than women.
I love this human and the original video. Go watch it. They're talking about a concept that I discuss a lot on here. The fact that research shows marriage benefits men much more than women.
All right, now I want you guys to pay attention, okay? She has a list up here of the supposed benefits that men get from marriage, right? She says they live longer, they get fired less. There's no statistics saying men get fired less for being married, but whatever. She says they earn more money, on average $16,000 more than single men. Now keep this all in the back of your head. They have lower levels of stress, less likely to smoke and drink excessively, okay? And they got reduced risk of depression. Okay, let's roll with that. Now watch this.
And the happiest demographic is single, unmarried women.
This is a lie. This is a lie. First of all, women as a whole are the most unhappy they've ever been in their entire life, and most of that is attributed to men. Now, I'm going to read you some actual articles here, not just talking points, but articles. Here's an article right here. It says, for years, researchers have puzzled over a phenomenon known as the female happiness paradox. A number of global surveys found that women experience higher levels of life satisfaction than men, but also higher levels of stress, anxiety, and other negative emotions. That's that emotional roller coaster women go on. I tell y'all about all the time, that Jekyll, high, Jekyll. That's them, right? But meanwhile, a well-known 2009 study found that American women's self-reported happiness had fallen in the decade since the 1970s, even as the gender equality movement made important strides. Now, what's happened to women since the 1970s besides the gender equality movement? Relationships, marriages, and the childbirth rate has steadily gone down every single year, right? So it would be fair to assume that if the happiness of women has gone down every single year, right, and relationships and childbirth has gone down every single year since the 70s, that probably plays a part in why women are the most unhappy they've ever been. But if you don't believe that, let's go to the original survey that she quoted in that article. And this is from The Paradox of Declining Female Happiness, which was by the American Economic Association. Before y'all say, well, where'd you get that study from? It says, and I quote in the abstract, the lives of women in the United States have improved over the past 35 years by many objective measures, yet we show that measures of subjective well-being indicate that women's happiness has declined both absolutely and relative to men. Now, again, if the only major thing that's changed from the 1970s to now is essentially the women's rights movement and the decline of marriage, the decline of relationships, and the decline of childbirth rate. It does not take a rocket scientist to figure out that the reason women are the most unhappy they've ever been is because they ain't got no man. So how can she then make an argument and turn around based off of basically nothing and say women are the happiest they've ever been and they're happiest when they're not in a relationship? That's cap. That's false. That's false. Again, these things sound smart to someone who's dumb, someone who doesn't research, someone who doesn't take the time to look into their own stuff. But we just getting started in this cooking here. Let's keep going forward.
That's because when men get married, they take on less labor, and when women get married, they take on more.
Okay, now I want to stop this, and I want to go back to the statistics that she just quoted. Hang on. Hold on here. Look, she says men get fired less and earn more money. Now, logically speaking, what do you have to do to earn more money? To earn more money than you were when you were single, you would have to work more. I repeat, to earn more money than when you were single, you would have to work more. It doesn't say they go to school more. It doesn't say they get more educated. Now, a lot of these statistics are capped. Like I said, a lot of what she's saying is cap in general. But just understand something. This is very simple. Got logic, guys. It doesn't take a lot to put this stuff together. So if he's not getting a higher level of education because he's married, you understand what I'm saying to you? He's not picking up any extra trades or skills. You would have to assume that the reason he's making $16,000 more is because he's working more. So if he's working more, how is he taking on less labor and less work in the marriage? That doesn't make sense. It's common knowledge that men who are married make more money than men who are single because they need it, because they have a woman to support and children to support, AKA they working overtime. They're working more hours or they're taking on an extra job. Hence why they're making more money. You don't make more money doing less work, especially when you aren't obtaining a higher level of education or extra trade skills. So she literally just contradicted herself. We're only 19 seconds in, right? And she's only been talking for 10 to 19 seconds and she's already told several blatant lies. But let's continue.
When men get married, they take on less labor, and when women get married, they take on more.
Becky capping.
And they say something in their video that just perfectly illustrates this.
What's that, Becky?
In general, when we're talking about cis-het relationships,
women,
which
why are you talking about it? Because you're a lesbian, but go ahead.
Are looking for a partnership.
Okay.
Men are looking for a caretaker.
And guess what? That goes back to my point for those of you who are saying, well, Alex, I see what you're saying, but that doesn't necessarily mean that women are unhappy because of the decline in children and marriages. They could just be unhappy because of other things. Run back what she just said. Run that back one more time. What did you say, sis?
Men are looking for a caretaker.
Women are looking for what?
Are looking for a partnership. Men are looking for a caretaker.
So if she's admitting out of her mouth that women are looking for a partnership in a relationship, wouldn't that mean that they wouldn't be happy if they didn't have a partner? I repeat, she said earlier that single, heterosexual, unmarried women are the happiest women in America. She then turned around and said, well, women go into relationships looking for a partner and emotional connection. Men go in there looking for a caretaker. If women go into relationships, okay, women go out into the world seeking partnership and marriage and families, and they aren't getting them, and she just admitted that this is what they're seeking, it will further support my point that the reason women are the most unhappy they've ever been now is because no one's keeping their ass. Everyone's just dumping them because of this fake sexual revolution, which is also part of the New World Order, but y'all don't hear me though, which is also part of the Matrix, but y'all don't hear me though, where they've reduced the value of sex to zero. There's no value in it anymore. Everyone's just doing the hump. Ow, sexy, right and right, left. There's no value to it anymore. So because of that, dudes don't have to marry you or get in a relationship with you to smash. And they told y'all that this is empowerment, but you're upset because you want that emotional connection. You want that family. You want the pictures. Okay. You want to go to the Discovery Zone with the family in Disney World. Okay, and make those Christmas pics with the matching outfits and stuff. You want that emotional and that social connection, and it ain't there no more because women like this are lying to you about everything. And one of the things that they're lying to you about, besides telling you that you'll make more money and be happy, besides telling you you'll be more happy not married, which is not true because women are social creatures and they all want partners, period. If you're LGBTQ, they still are going to be unhappy single. But they're also telling you sexual revolution. Do what you want to do with your V-Box. You could be a slut. It's no big deal. Then you give it up and Dudes say, well, if I could just get it out here from anybody without marrying, I'm not going to marry, and now you're depressed. This woman's leading women to hell. But let's keep going forward.
Before 1970-ish, women had to get married because they couldn't have a bank account, credit cards, buy a house. But okay,
that's true. All right. Now, mind you, everything she's saying, remember the 2 articles I just read earlier. Since the 1970s, women's happiness has been steadily declining. Now, according to her, okay, they're happier now because they got all these things after the 1970s. But let's continue.
No, we can do everything by ourselves.
And understand, before anyone says it, I fully support women having their own rights, okay? They should be able to vote. They should be able to buy a house. They should be able to work. They should be able to, to make money, to purchase things, to get credit cards, to work independently, to open their own business, to do whatever they want as far as that goes. But the attack on men, and this is why I tell you guys, it's third wave feminism I don't support. It's third wave feminism when it started to become about gender identity politics and intersectionality and patriarchy and all that other BS. That's when I jumped out, right? But let's continue.
But men's responses remain something along the lines of, we provide, or women want our money. Which leads me to something I've discussed here before. A lot of today's men have male gender role strain.
Oh, really?
Because they ignore both the...
Now, if she says we have male gender role strain, which basically means because gender roles don't exist anymore, we don't know what to do. But yet, literally, again, in the articles that I just quoted, it literally stated that men are happier than women right now. So we don't seem to be the ones who are confused. Y'all seem to be the ones who are confused, especially you, because you're a lesbian even having this conversation. But let's continue.
Yeah, and the voices of women who they don't believe are actually...
Now, I want you guys to look at this. Somebody come look at this. Somebody come look at this. She says 40% of women are the primary breadwinner in the home. That's a lie. An even bigger lie. She said 24% of women make over $100,000. Guys, I want you to understand something. Only 34% of American households in the country in combined income make over $100,000. So how the hell could women make up 24 of that 34%? I repeat, if only 34% of American households have over 6 figures in combined income, how can women make up 24% of that 34% by themselves? They don't. She's lying. As a matter of fact, $103,000 specifically, $103,000 would put you in the top 10% of women. She's full of it. She's lying. She's blatantly lying. And people who are goofy and just want to feel good to watch this and share it and go, yeah, girl power. They think they Wonder Woman or whatever the case may be or whatever you want to call it, when she's literally lying. She's literally lying. You insert yourself into the top 10% of women at $103,000. So how the hell could 24% of women make over $100,000? Then she puts in these damn degrees. You know what? I ain't even going to get there yet. Let's keep going.
Experts on women and live in this delusional 1950s world where they believe that's what today's women still want.
Oh, okay. So now she's saying that today's women don't want money. First of all, those of you who've been on this channel already know when I discussed the 2 most trending topics as far as what will women look up when they're looking for relationship advice. Number 1 is how to get married, which she says they're happier without marriage. So it literally contradicts her whole entire point right there. Number 2 is how to be a sugar baby. I repeat, the number 2 most looked at videos in the relationship sector for women, okay, on YouTube, besides how to get married, is literally how to be a sugar baby. I've already shown this on the channel. Those of you who've been here, you've seen it. Those of you who haven't, go back and look at my video where I talked about the female passport bros. And I said, literally, and I showed it, the 2 most looked up videos for women in the relationship sectors are how to get married, which she said they don't want to be married and they're happier single, and how to be a sugar baby. If women didn't care about men's money anymore, why is there hundreds of thousands of views on videos with women telling other women how to be a sugar baby, which basically means dealing with an old ass man you're not attracted to for money? I mean, she's coming out here saying anything. Again, all this sounds smart if you're dumb. All this sounds smart if you don't think for yourself. 2 seconds of research blows this whole video up. I don't even know how it went viral. I mean, come on, man. 24% of women making $100,000. You gotta be kidding me, bruh. 40% of women are the breadwinners in the home. Like 40%, 75% of black women alone are single mothers. 50% of Hispanic women are single mothers. 30% of white women are single mothers. So you don't think that contributes, right? And it's not 40%. That's a not true statistic. But even if it was true, which it isn't, and this is why I wanted to talk to you guys about faulty logic. It's when you show numbers, but you don't show context. See, people always like to say men lie, women lie, numbers don't. That's a lie. Numbers do lie. It's called faulty logic. And it's when you use statistics out of context. So, for example, if 75% of black women are single mothers, that would mean 75% of black women would be considered head of household because they have a dependent, which would make it seem, if you were dumb, that, oh, black women are the breadwinners in the households more than black men. No, black women are the only ones in the damn household, so there's nothing to compare it to. And again, if you consider 50% of Hispanic women, which no one talks about but me, because nobody, everybody just follows the agenda, and the agenda makes it seem like only black women are single mothers. I'm really cooking right now. But I digress. If 50% of Hispanic women are single mothers, 30% of white women are single mothers, of course the amount of head of households of women is going to go up because they're by themselves. They're the only ones in the household with the child. So of course the head of households of women is going to go up because once you have a child, you're considered a head of household. You're not considered just single anymore. So single mothers are the only breadwinners in the home. Faulty logic. Somebody timestamp this for me because people really don't understand faulty logic. And men do it too, but I cook the men all the time out here. It's time for y'all females to get some of this hot fire. Let's see what else she said.
That's all they have to bring to the table is a job.
It is. That's what a sugar daddy is. He brings money, he puts it on the table, she gets on the boat, she twerks, she drops it low, low. She does whatever else she does behind closed doors, which I ain't going to say, but y'all know what it is, and she leaves with the money. That is all he has to do. To sit here and lie and say that modern women don't care at all about how much money a man makes is insanity. Now, will they sleep with a dude who doesn't have money? Sure, they'll sleep with a dude who doesn't have money, but we're talking about marriage right now and relationships. Ain't no woman who don't care about how much money you got when it comes to a marriage or relationship. And I'm not even saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying she's a liar. But let's continue.
You'd have to have anyway, and I have too. Which is why women take on more labor when they marry cishet men. Because they still expect you to live in that 1950s world with them, where all they do is provide and you do everything else.
No, that's cap. You don't do everything else. You don't do everything else. First of all, everything else, we already know what you're talking about. You're talking about cooking. You're talking about cleaning. You're talking about being a homemaker, right? First of all, like you just said, you contradicted your own self. You would have had to do that anyway, rather you had a man or not. So let's just roll that right out of the picture. Second of all, you say a man doesn't have to do anything but provide. That's a lie. If a burglar tries to break into the house, who got to go downstairs and defend it? The man. If there's a plumbing issue, right, or the shingles are falling off the roof, who got to climb up there and try to put the shingles back on or try to fix the plumbing? The man. Okay, when the lawn needs to be mowed, the man's going to be the one mowing the lawn and whacking the weeds. If he's there, don't tell me, oh, I'll mow my own lawn, because you don't have a choice. You don't have a man. I'm talking about if the man's there, he's going to be doing that. When it's time to get up there and clean the gutters, the man's going to be the one climbing on that ladder and cleaning the gutters. If you decide you want to add a deck to your house, the man's going to be the one building the damn deck. This is, what are you talking about? If you need your tire changed, you're going to call your man to change your tire. Stop it. You're talking about housework. This is what I mean when I said modern women are lazy as all hell. Because they really think cooking, cleaning, and taking care of the kids, which they would have to do anyway, is some type of slavery. Oh, I don't want to do that. But then they brag about going to these goddamn jobs and working 40 to 60 hours a week for somebody else. And they don't have no complaints. And also another cap that she brought up and those stupid points that she made earlier that I forgot to mention is she brought up how, oh, women are happy alone because they have degrees and jobs. As if to say women don't need money, a man's money, or don't expect a man to have money, or don't require a man to have money because they have degrees and jobs. That's BS. First of all, don't use degrees and jobs to try to say that women are making more money than men, because as of now, they're not as a whole, and there's no argument against that. That's just a fact. Second of all, women act like having a degree is the only way you can make money. A lot of men decided to get a trade. They decided to get a CDL. They decided to get a financial license. They decided to become welders. They decided to become electricians. All of these trades pay upwards of $100,000. And it doesn't come with $100,000 of student loan debt, which you conveniently left out of your video. 70% of the student loan debt right now belongs to women. And y'all, that's why y'all screaming at Biden to get rid of it all. He only gave you $10,000. Which y'all was like, this ain't enough. But guess what? It was enough for me because I only have $15,000 left. So when I get that 10, I'm going to pay the other 5 and I'm done. But you know why? Because I didn't go and get a super master's bachelorette's degree. I got a skill and a degree and I got out of Dodge because I understood student loan debt. But to bring up, there's more women graduating college than men as if that's the only way to get money is crazy. You leaving out how many men started their own business. You're leaving out how many men inherited a business from their fathers or their forefathers. You're leaving out so many other ways to get money. Just to talk about, so we're getting more degrees. Yeah, because you brought into that agenda. You took out those predator loans. Y'all the ones going to school to get a damn degree to become a therapist and make $60,000 with $100,000 worth of student loan debt. You didn't even push it to psychiatrists because no one told you to think that far ahead. Man, let's go ahead and wrap this video up, man.
And as the original creator says, that's why you see so many men on this app saying things like, why don't women want to cook and clean for us anymore?
Because y'all lazy. I can answer that question for you right now, fellas, because they're lazy as hell. And they give all their energy to their boss and they be sleeping with their bosses too. Not all, but a lot. But that's a story for a whole nother video. And they come home and they don't got no energy to sleep with you because they done already did it. They ain't got no energy to cook, clean, or take care of them kids that they more than likely asked you for because more women have kids than men. It's not my opinion. This is a fact. This is another fact. And it's funny how, like, for example, 54% of black men don't have kids. Black women will argue all day that stat's not true. Well, where did you get that stat from? That stat's not true. And then, numbers can lie and blah, blah, blah. But as soon as an article came out that said men are lonely, they just ran with it. They just ran with it. No, in fact, they just, see y'all lonely, y'all better start acting right and da-da-da-da-da. 54% of men don't have kids. And me speaking as a man who doesn't have a kid, because I'm like, if I'm not in the right situation with the right woman, I can be happy all by myself. I don't need to have no goddamn kids. Women have a need for someone to be around. It has to be a pet, a child, a man. Somebody's got to be there. The kids just be by themselves. Men can do that. Listen, I can go work, come home, play the game, kick my feet up, scratch my butt, and be happy. They can't do that. Not consistently. That's also why they consume so much wine. And oh my God, I could go all day. This will turn into an hour roast. It will, because this is stupid. Her whole premise here is dumb. But anyway, let me wrap this up.
I want to rub our back. Now, I'm not saying that hetero marriage is a scam for women. I'm just giving you the data. You can come to your own conclusions.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much what you're saying. It's pretty safe to assume that that's exactly what you're saying. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. Everybody just comes out here and everybody wants to talk about, heterosexual this and women that, and this is all great. And it's the gynocracy and all this. Listen, the gender war is fake. The gender war was put in by the damn Matrix. Okay, it was put in by the Matrix. It's not real, it's fake. As a man or a woman, if you allow yourself to get sucked into this nonsense, you're going to be just as unhappy as those lonely men and those lonely women are. Okay, and rather y'all want to admit it or not, there's a lot more lonely women than there are lonely men. All right, so y'all going to come out on the short end of this stick, ladies. But this is what I'm talking about. Y'all, anyone could just go online and grab a microphone and say any goddamn thing, and y'all just be blindly believing this stuff. Y'all need to start fact checking what these people are saying, because 99.9% of it be cap and BS. This woman is full of crap. It was actually fun to just go ahead and rip her apart really quick. It was fun. It was easy. It didn't even take me a long time. I could have kept going, but I don't want the video to be too long. But you guys got to start watching who your heroes is, man. Start fact checking these people. Just stop blindly believing people online because they have a platform. Because I'm going to tell you right now, again, a part of the agenda, a part of the Matrix is to divide men and women, whether you acknowledge it or not. So you have to really look at these people with these big platforms spitting out these half-truths and false equivalencies and using faulty logic and say, what's really their point in this? Their point is to keep pushing division. Their point is to keep pushing this false, fake-ass gender war. There is no gender war. Real men love women. Real women love men. I am Alex, and I am out. Peace.